Welcome to the Explosive Drink Podcast with Jared Penny. In this episode, we're going to go over diet information and, in particular, how to diet, lean up, and get stronger at the same time. You know, a lot of the stuff I do is geared towards human performance. And sometimes when you diet or you kind of follow these things online or what you hear, what you say, or what you feel, I don't care how you feel or anything like that, but it's not really about how you feel, it's about what you do. So before we get into that, I've got a new little toy here. I'm gonna start. If you've heard on the last maybe one or two episodes, I've been recording my podcast on something different. Several months ago, I had someone say, "Hey, Jared, I got to turn my mics all the way. I got to turn my volume all the way up to hear you," and I didn't quite know what they were talking about. And then I just was going to play my podcast to someone in the car the other day, just so they could hear it, and I had to turn the volume all the way up. I said, "What the heck's going on?" So I went found some different things in order how to the mics that I have, you got to have like a booster to help get the sound out of them so that it gets to you better. But anyway, in a few months, what I'm going to do, if I figure this out, and not too technologically savvy, but I like to take phone calls. I'm going to try to get to where I'm going to announce when a podcast is going to come out. And for those of you who want to take or call in, I'll be able to take your phone calls. I'll be able to play videos. I'll be able to pull sound bites up. I can even do sound bites right now, like if I wanted some intro music. I can turn that up. We can go up in volume. We can kind of come down and fade it away, or we can just turn it off. And it's got other little things on here. Womp, womp, womp. Got some laughter. That way we can laugh at all the people that don't have a freaking clue what the hell they're doing. Crickets. A little drum roll. A little scary music. Oh, a little fairy dust. I ain't got a freaking clue what that is. But I can change those pads out and I can add different sounds and make different sound effects I want to. So I'm going to try to grow this show a little bit better. Maybe almost create like an Explosive Strength radio show to where we're calling in, we're talking, we're discussing things. That way you can hear me openly discuss how things are to other people. And sometimes, like if you heard in our other podcast, everything's not specific or everything does not work for everybody. You just got to figure out what works for them. Just like 85%, if you start them off 4 sets 4, someone gets them all, then next person only gets 3s all the way through. You got to figure out how to go from point A to point B in order to help them. So hopefully we can call in and get some of that stuff done. I had some headphones on, so I just took those off because I don't need the little sound pads anymore to figure out what the sounds are. But anyway, hopefully the show sounds a lot better for everybody. And website's going good. You can. I've had several people order shirts from across the country, across the world. Sold like 3 super training books. Thank you for the people that have bought the shirts and buying the books. Go online, purchase a shirt, help the show out. Just explosivemechanics.com. You can go to the store and buy a shirt, and I ship it to you. Some people like the Shut Up and Work shirts. I think I've sold almost all of them Shut Up and Work. I sold one that was just logo only. So if you want the logo only, I can do a gray shirt with a blue logo or whatever. Just check it out online. If you got any questions, email me or message me on Instagram if you like. I had someone email me the other day for a question on the podcast, so I'm going to get to that question later. So, but let's get in here to this diet information. For the most part, for most of my time when I was a little younger, I would try to lose weight. I like to be lean, and I don't really like to be fat. My belly sticks out, but I have a 6-pack. And so when I showed people my abs at the gym, they're like, "Holy shit, how's that even possible?" My abs are thick, pretty blocky, but my belly's round. So someone said, "Jared, you just got a power belly." But if I pull up my shirt, it's a 6-pack. So abs are pretty thick and pretty defined. And so people kind of like, "Holy shit, it looks like you got a beer belly." I do drink a lot of beer, but you know what? I do have a 6-pack. So I like to be lean, and I like to try to help other people get lean, but other people don't listen. Everybody's listening on a podcast. Hey, do this, do this. I tell people what to do, and it's up to you to listen and do it. I can't make you do it. And so, hey, Jared, can you help my son with diet information? Yeah, I can. You know what? Dieting and stuff is the hardest, most boring crap you got to kind of do. And I told someone the other day, in order to simplify it, we're just like, do you feed your dog different food every day, or they pretty much get the same thing all the time? I know my dog gets the same hard food all the time and same canned food. So and she's pretty muscular and pretty lean. So sometimes you may have to eat the same thing over and over to get leaner. Mix things up. I'm gonna kind of tell you what I do. I'm gonna tell you if you store fat and or where you store stuff, what foods can affect that. We're gonna go over kind of how I diet. But I had this lady come in and she said, Jared, I've been working out, I've been doing this, and I feel like I'm doing the right thing. Well, that's the first thing. You can't feel anything. If you throw your feelings out the door, you know, a lot of people at the gym, I don't give a shit about your feelings. Hey, Jared, I feel like my spine's about to break. I say, good, that means you're getting better. Feelings don't matter. Feelings are a waste. I don't know where the hell we got in society. Oh, I feel like this. Well, sometimes when you feel bad, you actually perform better. When I test your 40-yard dash or your vertical jump, I feel like I'm eating good. I feel like, do you know? 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 So I put up an example. I've got this chalkboard at the gym I like to draw. I like to teach and try to help people understand. Whether they do it or not, it's up to them, but I'm doing my part and I'm trying to help, you know. We got into a discussion with the kid today at the gym, you know, I didn't learn a lot of stuff till it was later on in my athletic career. That now I'm too old, running with 40 for me is going to do nothing, but I know how to do it. And so I'm trying to help the athletes that come to the gym to be better than what I was. Give them an opportunity. You know, my biggest thing was I could jump, I was strong, but I didn't have the speed, you know, but I didn't really work on the squats. I was the kid in the high school weight room that would kind of like half-ass through his squats and move on to the next thing. But I hated to squat sets of 10 to 12. Sometimes would squat 15 reps. I didn't understand. I wasn't trying to be a bodybuilder, but I knew enough at high school because I've been studying this stuff since I was about 12 years old, that most of the stuff what we were doing, it wasn't right. It wasn't right for what I was trying to do. And that's why, hey, this kid squats 500. He weighs 350. He squats 500. That's why he's going to run a 5.7 40-yard dash. And so, hey, just because they're strong, you know, like I had a kid the other day. He said, Jared, my coaches hate me coming here because they said, you're going to be really strong, but your power clean is going to suck. They don't do power cleans at explosive mechanics. I said, hell no. I said, it's a waste of time. The high school coaches don't even know why they're doing it. They make you explosive. BS, why do they have 27-inch verticals? The only way to test explosive power, make you explosive, is to jump. Got some of the most explosive athletes on the planet in one gym. 31, 32 kids that jump 40-plus inch verticals at young ages. 17-year-old kids squat 600 plus. Yeah, but I had a 300-pound lineman with a 34-inch vertical at his pro day. It's proven training that we can go from point A to point B. Just, hey, y'all don't do power cleans. Power cleans are a rate of force development exercise. What do the Olympic lifters do all the time? Every freaking time they go, they squat. They're squatting. They'll come in, they may clean, or they may start off with snatch, then they may work on their cleans and jerks. Then they're going to do their strength lifts. They may squat and front squat in the same day after when they clean. The difference between a power clean is a power clean, just pull off the ground, catch it, hold it upright. A clean's actually when you squat under. And so a lot of times these kids at school are pulling the bar and squatting under without full hip extension. So if they're never fully extending their hips, they're never going to really reach their explosive power. So if they're squatting under, they're just doing cleans, clean all day long. They're not doing power cleans, so they're not becoming more powerful. Although they're squatting all the time, they're not really working on a rate of force development because they are doing too many reps with it. They're doing a rate of force development exercise using a maximum repeated effort reps. Bodybuilding reps with a rate of force development exercise won't work. So I got into all that just because I get on these rants, but your feelings, it don't matter. Hey, I feel like I'm doing good. Do you know? So what I did is I broke it out on the board. I wrote down, okay, so for a 150-pound female. And so I broke it down. This is just to lean up. We can almost recomp with this. But years ago, I would lose weight, lose strength. I said, screw the diet shit. I want to be strong. And so I got frustrated. And so once I started monitoring and hammering numbers and applying the same principle to the diet stuff as I did to the weight room stuff, to where I have to hit these certain numbers, it was a game changer. And so for the first time, I went from a 365 incline max to a 405 incline max, but my body weight went from 231 to 209. So I lost weight for the first time in my life, and I got stronger. I had his kid that's been coming, he's lost 35, almost 40 pounds. His bench press has gone from 210 to 265. It's, if you do right, you can get right. But if you fail to plan, you'll plan to fail. So you got to hit these numbers. And, you know, it's kind of like you wouldn't, for your checking account or your bank account, you're not going to go save money all week long. And then on weekends, just go spend frivolously, because then all that saving you did all week long just gave you more money to spend on the weekend. But then guess what? Monday, you're back at the same spot. You know, I told him just like this. It's like a track. Jared, you know, once you get to where you want to go, then you can have fun on the weekends and just keep your week strict. Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday, let it go. But be mindful. So I told the kid, it's like, this is kind of like, you know, starting back over on Monday. So the whole time it's like you run around a track. Okay, well, Friday comes, boom, Saturday, halfway back around track. Sunday's, by the time Sunday's over and Monday's back, you might as well just almost like take a match car around a circle, and you might as well just move them back to the starting point, because basically starting this week over. So I told myself, and I tell a lot of people, you have to get through 3 weeks and 3 weekends. Then you'll start changing, and then you'll feel a little bit more motivated to get through the weekend. But a lot of times people will get at the beginning of the week, get to Friday. Oh, I've done good all week, so I'm going to go eat. Then Monday they're bitching again because they didn't lose any weight. And so I told the kid, don't worry about your weight loss. We're going to take your body fat, because I like to try to keep you at somewhat the same weight if I can. But sometimes people they'll lose weight, so then we can just figure out if they want to gain weight. Once we get all the fat off of you, then we'll go up again. But you've got to get to a certain point. I think my best is 10 weeks and 10 weekends. And I got really lean at that point. And so then you can have Monday through Friday. If it's good, you can have your donuts on Sunday morning if you want donuts and coffee with your wife or girlfriend or whatever. Or maybe just eat donuts and coffee by yourself. So you have to follow certain numbers. And I'm going to go over female numbers in particular, how to get leaner. So for 150-pound female, they need their body weight in protein. Males are a little higher. So these numbers will not apply directly to the males. I think males 1.5, females is 1.0. The carb intake for a female is 0.2, and the fat intake is 0.2. So if you take a 150-pound female, her total carb intake for that day is 30 grams. Her total protein intake for that day is 150 grams, and her total fat is 30. So 30, 150, 30 total for the day. And if you read in some other books, we have a fat-burning hormone leptin, so the more frequently we eat throughout the day. I know like Mark Bell and all these other people out there are putting stuff on and out there for people monitoring numbers. There's other factors involved out there. If you're not there yet, you need to get from point A to point B. So you need to eat frequently throughout the day. I don't care what people say. Well, I'm going to do this fasting thing. I'm going to do that. All that fasting, all that diet fad, all that popular BS that you see out there on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you see the crap, is trying to get people to do something. Fasting is just a way for you not to eat for 12 hours. Because if you put in your brain that I'm not going to eat from 12 to 12, but in that other 12-hour window or 4 or 6-hour window, I can eat what I want to. The whole reason you're fasting, you're blocking out that time frame, is so that you won't eat. And if you don't eat, you're not consuming calories. And if you're not consuming calories, you're not going to gain weight. But people don't think of it that way. That, hey, I'm going to do this. Hey, this guy's doing this. Hey, I'm going to do carnivore diet. Okay, yeah, that's fine. But still be balanced, because there's fat in steak. There's fat in hamburger meat. There's fat in bison meat. So you can eat all the meat and all the stuff you want to. Like I had a guy right now, he was doing no carbs, but he was eating peanut butter, and peanut butter is a fat food, and he was eating 2 pounds of peanut butter a week. I said, holy shit, just because it's not carby don't mean you can freaking eat the hell out of it. Quit eating peanut butter and lost from 240 to 218, almost 22 pounds, and just cut out peanut butter. And I said, holy crap. I said, you're eating too much. And what, really, you think so? Well, cut it out. And so the kid wants to get leaner. Hey, Jared, how do I get leaner? But I'm trying to tell him these freaking numbers right here, and he ain't listening. You know, why do you come to me for strength? Because I know how to get you stronger. And they see the kid at the gym that's lost a lot of weight. The kid that quit eating peanut butter, he lost weight, but his body's not looking quite like he wants it to because he's not putting the right fuel in it. You got a different hormone response whether you're eating protein. You got a different hormone response if you just ate all carbs. You got a hormone response if you just ate all fat. So you can look differently depending on what you eat. So then the best thing to do is be balanced. And balance, I don't care about health and fitness. I care about human performance. I ain't worried about, oh, that's healthy. Oh, this is healthy. Ooh, I don't give a shit. I just want to look lean. I want to be strong. I want to be powerful. Strength and power. I train athletes. Strength and power. I'm not going out there win a bikini contest. I am just trying to get these athletes to run faster. And I'm trying to be an example. So if I could be lean, maybe they'll listen to me for the diet stuff. And the big thing is you got to keep the frequently eating to keep your hormone levels up. You can eat on a 12-hour clock. You can eat at 9:30, 11:30, 2:30, 5:30, and 7. Or if you're just trying to eat 6 times a day, 9:30, 11:30, 2:30, 5:30, 7, and maybe 10 o'clock at night. But we're going to keep this simple for the 150-pound female. Is their total carb intake for today is 30, total protein intake is 150, and total fat intake is 30. And if you divide those by 5, that is 6 carbs per meal. That is 30 protein per meal, and that's 6 grams of fat. So 636 per meal, 5 times a day. And so if you try to tell them that's what they need to eat, they look at you like a monkey doing a math problem, have no clue. And so I'll write some stuff down, 30 grams of protein. If you wanted to go for a shake, a protein shake, it's so easy to get some of your meals in because you're still getting the nutrients in. And if you add fat to it, or if you add casein, if you mix casein and whey protein, you won't be starving an hour after you do it. So, well, why do I need this? Why do I need that? Look, just do it. And so 636, and the lady comes in, Jared, I think I had a good meal. I didn't have any carbs. I had a half an avocado with a hot dog and no bun. And I was just like, geez, that's when I kind of got on this rant. Hey, come over here to the board. Let's break this down for you. And so I just gave them the example of this 150 gram. So in one avocado is 21 fat, 12 carbs, and 3 grams of protein. Okay, she had half of an avocado. Well, that's 11 grams of fat. That's almost 5, that's 5 more than she needed. It has 6 carbs, which is right on point, but then it only had 1.5 protein. Well, then by the time you get to the hot dog with that avocado, that hot dog was 13 grams of fat. So you had 24 grams of fat that one meal. You had 8 carbs because of 2 carbs from hot dog. Then you had 5 protein from the hot dog, and so you only had 6.5, 7 grams of protein. And so you didn't even get close to the 30 protein, and protein is thermogenic, which will help you lean up. It takes more body energy to break down the protein than it does the carb, and it takes the least amount. So if you have, there's 4 calories in protein and 4 calories in carbs, and there's 9 calories per gram of fat. But the thing about fat is, turn my computer on so I get to this later. The thing about fat is when you consume a fat gram, you're going to hold, as your body's basically going to store it. But then when you consume a carbohydrate, it may take 90, 85% range, and proteins 75%. So it's going to take a lot more heat energy from your body to break down that stuff in order to show that where it needs to go. So your body's going to have to work at different intensities once you consume those nutrients. So if you're not if you just consume a lot of fat. So if you wanted to go on a calorie only diet and just did all fat, you may look pretty bad. So then carbs. So that's why you got people, they'll lose weight, but then they look like melted butter. They got saggy skin and, oh, you lost weight, but that's good, but you just quite don't look right. Well, they're not monitoring their numbers. They're just, they'll go out there and they'll run long distance while they're eating up their muscle tissue. Well, they're eating carbs with it. And then they're not getting the protein in to sustain the muscle tissue. So they're losing muscle, losing fat. So they almost lose muscle and fat at a 50-50 thing. They just don't quite look right. So, and you've seen people like that. So the latest didn't even hit those numbers anywhere close to what she was doing. And it's best, if you have 30 grams of protein, it's probably about 4.5 ounces of steak or chicken. I've got sheets on my computer that tell me, all right, this is how much chicken weighs, or you can go home, if you cook it, and you weigh it, and you monitor how much it weighs, and you just section that out into different Tupperware things, it'd be a lot easier, because that way, when you get hungry and you're dieting, all you want to do is go to the refrigerator and get the first thing you see and eat it, because at that point, you're starving. So for this 150-pound female, she needs 6 carbs, 30 grams of protein, and 6 grams of fat. That may be, just give you some examples, not hardcore numbers. So if she had a rounded scoop of protein powder, okay, half a tablespoon of olive oil, or maybe 1 scoop of peanut butter. You got 1 scoop of peanut butter and a rounded scoop of protein powder. That peanut butter is going to have some carbs in it, but usually with a fat food like peanut butter, this is so confusing, is you don't usually count the carbs in it. But for this person, depending on how much activity you possibly could. So usually the fat foods like peanut butter, olive oil, almonds, peanuts, you're supposed to count them as a fat, although they do have some carbs in it. So if you don't want to get overly involved in it, you just count the fat as fats, and like if there's protein in oats or Ezekiel bread or whatever kind of carb or rice or whatever you're doing for your other thing, you don't count the protein in that. You count the carbs as carbs, you count the fats as fats, and you count the proteins as protein. So like if you had 6 ounces of steak and it had 6-7 grams of fat, not usually supposed to count those. It's just, that's an easier way to go about it without overly consuming yourself. And some people say, Jared, what if I just worry about calories? If you take your calories, so I don't have a calculator. Let's see if I do this for this 150-pound female. If we kept like usually when you're dieting, you're trying to keep your fats and your proteins consistent. If you want to go up and down in weight, the carbs, the main thing to manipulate. So how many calories is that? Instead of counting all the numbers within calories, you can just multiply 150 times 4 equals, that's 600 grams of, 600 calories for the protein for the day. So then you got 30 times 4, 120, is 120 calories from that, and 3 times 9 is 180, 30 times 9, what, 30 grams for the day, times 9 is 270. So 270 from fat, 600 from protein, and 120 from carbs, and that would be your total calories for the day. About 1,000 calories for that 150-pound person. And sometimes, like for me, I don't really do a whole lot of work, so I don't deserve a whole lot of carbs. And my personal information is 45 grams of protein. I'll be 6 times a day. 45 grams of protein, 20 carbs, and 10 grams of fat. And if you heard Charles Paughman, if you're over 10% body fat, you don't deserve 2 licks of a dried prune at Christmas until you get under that 10% range. And so I was following 45, 20, and 10, but I wasn't getting where I wanted to go. I was not really getting hardly leaner at all. I was losing a little weight, but I wasn't quite getting. And once I cut my carbs almost to none, I even went so strict on my carbs to where in my shakes, I would not use peanut butter or anything else. I would use olive oil, avocado oil, sunflower oil, peanut oil. I would get my fats from different oils that I pour in with protein. And so for me, for example, I am 225 to 230 pound range, I'll take in, for a shake, and this would be an example of this one shake would equal 2 meals. So I would do 2 scoops of whey, I would do 2 scoops of casein. Remember, the casein helps slow down the absorption to where you're not immediately starving an hour after you do it. So 2 scoops of whey, 2 scoops of casein, because each scoop is about 24 to 25 grams, usually about 24 grams of protein per scoop. So I need 2 scoops per time to get to my 45 grams of protein. So, but I do 2 scoops of whey, I do 2 scoops of casein. I do 2 tablespoons of, say, macadamia nut oil. I put that in a blender, I blend it all up. And I usually use an Nalgene bottle. It's about 32 ounces. And so being I've got that, so I'll drink at, say, 5:30. I'll drink half of it. Then at 7:30, I may drink the other half of it later. Sometimes for breakfast, I use bone broth protein. I may do 2 scoops of bone broth with some MCT oil. And usually for lunch, I'll eat chicken with some type of side. And for dinner, it's usually steak with some other side, maybe green bean, corn, or some type of vegetable. I don't have any fruit in my diet. Hey, Jared, I've been doing really good. I had a banana, though. A banana's 20 carbs. You just blew especially if you're the female, you just ate my carbs for your meal, because I was supposed to be at 20 carbs per meal. And that's kind of like, geez, just because it's a healthy food don't mean you can eat more of it. Just because peanut butter has no carb, you're not supposed to be eating the whole damn top of it. Just because all these numbers. And so if you're not directly monitoring or figuring out where your numbers are, you're never going to get to where you want to go. And I told the person, so if you're supposed to eat 5 times a day, you eat 5 times a day for 7 days. That's 35 meals. Well, look at this. If you screw up, say, 4 of those, so you're only at 88%. So you were good on 31 out of 35 meals. So you only screwed up 4 meals for that entire week. Out of 35, you got 31 meals right, you're 88%. You're not even hitting 90%. You're not even getting an A in the class. And so imagine if you do good Monday through Friday, you get to 25, then you have no clue what you're doing on the weekend. And so you're 25, you're only at 70%. So you're really falling off the cliff. Now you're almost getting an F. And so if you're not hitting these numbers just right when you're first starting, you're not really going to get anywhere. You're going to get frustrated and you can move on to the next thing. Hey, Jared, hey, can you help me with a diet? Hey, this is so boring. I don't want to eat this. Well, you think I want that freaking shake in the morning with MCT oil that makes me feel like ass? No, I don't. But if I want to get to where I want to go, sometimes I got to do shit that I don't want to do. So the biggest thing with the diet is start off specific times of day that you're going to eat. And that can be around your daily routine. Like if, when I'm doing 5 meals a day, I start off, my first is about 11:30, that's my shake. 2:30 is where I eat my chicken. 5:30 is where I drink the Nalgene shake. I drink half of it because I've got 4 scoops of protein in there with 2 tablespoons of fat. So I drink the other one at 5:30, then I drink the other one between 7 and 7:30, and then I usually eat about 10 o'clock at night. So I'm eating anywhere between 11:30 to 10 o'clock at night, or I can, if I need extra meal, I may start at 9:30 in the morning, and I may finish at 10 o'clock. So I'm basically eating on like a 12-hour clock, if you want to look at it that way. If you want to call that fasting, you can call it fasting. I'm hitting my numbers 5 to 6 times a day with a 2.5 to 3 hour window. And once you get past 4 hours is when your leptin and all that stuff drops. So I don't do fat. I don't call it fasting. I just call it hitting my numbers. And so with me, the biggest thing I tell people, if I see the clock, it's like, oh, 12 o'clock, oh, shit, I got to get my shake in me. Then at 2:30, I'm not really hungry, but I still have to eat anyway. 5:30, oh, geez, it's 5:45, I got to get my shake, or it's 5:15. I'm trying to, I got to get my shake 15 minutes, 7 o'clock, oh, shit, it's 7:20, I got to get my shake. It holds you accountable once you do it for so long that you'll know it. You'll feel, oh, you'll look at the clock, oh, I got to eat my meal, I got to drink my shake, I got to do this. And sometimes I don't even drink the shake for breakfast. I may have steak for breakfast. It's just easier for me, especially at the gym. If I'm sitting at the gym working, go in the back, I got a refrigerator, drink half my shake, boom, go mess with the kids and help everybody out, and come back, drink shake, boom, done. So I ate a meal before I get to the gym, and I got shakes that get me through the gym, and when I get home, eat another meal. I like to eat my last meal of the day. So, and sometimes for breakfast, I may have 4 eggs and a scoop of protein. That way I get my fat from eggs, I get my protein from eggs, and I get the other scoop of protein to make sure my protein count's up. So you can do that as well. There's only, hey Jared, eggs are good protein. Eggs are only 6 grams of protein per egg. So you're gonna have to eat an ass ton of eggs if you're 45 grams of protein. Now, I hate eggs. But I'll eat them, Sunday. That's one of the things I do Sunday mornings is when I'm more strict dieting is I have eggs for breakfast. And I don't like them, but it's something for me to change it up that I'm still hitting my numbers. Eat your eggs. I'm going to have a scoop of protein. Protein and supplements are just to supplement your diet for what you're not getting in. If I am not getting my protein in through my eggs, I have to use a supplement in order to spike up that protein intake. If I need a supplement to spike up, I'm not getting enough vitamin D because I'm sitting my ass inside all day. Take a supplement. So you got to kind of figure out where you are. And I told this other person, as you go through life, your hormone response is going to change. So there may be some foods like I can't eat or drink wheat. Like if I want a blue moon, I drink one blue moon, I swell up like a mother. So I don't do very good with wheat. If I eat bread, I don't eat wheat bread, I eat white bread. And if for most of you, white rice is better than brown rice. And just as a whole general, I'm telling you white rice is better than brown rice. I ain't even giving it a suggestion. But we hear all this crap on TV. Well, a lot of stuff we hear on TV is false anyway. So don't listen to TV, listen to Jared. And so hit the numbers, figure out where you are, figure out where you want to go, and hit numbers. Because if you don't, hey, I feel like I'm doing it, but you don't know what you're doing. Like, oh, I had an avocado with a hot dog. Well, I just blew my freaking calorie content out the water. I didn't hit any of my numbers. And I hate it when people say, hey, I want to worry about calories. Calories, count your carbs, count your fats, and count your proteins. And that's how you count your calories. Don't look at the 900 on the container. Say, oh, 900 calories here, 900 calories. You need to be monitoring your macros depending on how you want to look instead of just monitoring your calories. If you just want to look like a stick of melted butter, monitor your calories. If you want to look like a fine-tuned machine, monitor your numbers, monitor your macros. And people will probably give me some shit because I usually don't talk about diet stuff. I've seen people, I've done it myself. The thing about me versus a lot of other people, I train myself. I still train, I still bench. I still deadlift, I still squat, I still do stuff. So I know what it takes. I've been there. I hold the state record for bench. I have gone from point A to point B myself. I'm not some scientist sitting in an office looking at, hey, eccentric training will strengthen, thicken the ligaments and tendons. Okay. They're looking at that stuff, shit through an electron microscope, but when they're training their athletes, these athletes are not really getting faster, although they have the potential to get faster, but still coaches don't know how to do it, so they just do something. Oh, eccentric training has been around for freaking years, hundreds of years probably. Quit using old terms and spinning them as new shit. That gets on my nerves. Eccentrics, you cause greater muscle soreness. More likely to injure and tear a muscle through eccentrics. If you look at the people, whatever the guy on Instagram a couple months ago was benching and pec rip, well, it tore not on the way up, we're on the way down. Um, so I think if people would just get out of their wheelhouse and just go and do, like people are like, hey, Jared, what do you do? What do you do? Well, they go pick apart what I do. They go pick apart somebody else. You know what Jared does? I don't pay attention to what anybody else does. I live in my own little world. I go to my own little gym and I do my own little books. Okay. And I'm trying to pass, because I get so many people from all over wanting to learn this information. And I said, I'll start a podcast. Well, I really need to teach the people in my area so that they know the difference between coming to me. They know the difference between going to the fancy place down the street. They know the difference between going to the commercial place down the street. They know the difference between me and everybody else. But somehow I'm out there in the world. Thank you for all the people in Germany, Sweden, huge Australia following. Thanks to guys in Australia. I think I'm coming up on Egypt's podcast list too. It's crazy how many people out there that listen, and I'm just glad that you're listening so that possibly I can help. I get a lot of feedback. Hey, Jared, thanks for your information that you put out. You helped me out a lot. Hey, thanks for this. I like doing podcasts. I like teaching. Don't get paid for it, but that's why it's not always consistent. I get on when I want to share something, just like this diet information. I think people would like to know it. So I know I didn't get to the mail stuff. I would be on a forever podcast. I know a lot of people also want me to do online training. I will probably start doing that maybe January. I'll start 2022 off right, doing people's online training, but I don't really want to do it, so I'm going to limit it to 10 freaking people. And I'm not over concerned with, how much money I make from this, how much money I make from... No, I'm going to limit it, and I'm going to charge it just like I would at the gym. Not going to devalue myself, and if you don't want to pay for it, don't pay for it, because I don't care. I don't want to do it in the first place. But if you do want to do it, I'll take care of you. I'll take care of you just like I do with people. I'll make sure that you're a freak too. I'll make sure you understand. I'll do videos. I'll do emails. And I need to limit it so I don't get overwhelmed with how much shit I got to do. So for people that keep asking for training, possibly January, need to get the freaking stupid book out first. That's been a pain in my ass, a thorn in my side, or whatever else you want to talk about. But I think I got it hammered. So get that rolling for you. But let's see if I can pull out any of this. For protein intakes: chicken, lean cut steak, fish, turkey, egg whites, whey, casein protein powder. Any high quality protein powder is fine. You don't have to eat all day long. Vegetables, basically anything green: broccoli, green beans, cauliflower, asparagus. Cauliflower's not green, but and salads. You can add vegetables to any meal. So like if you had a shake and you were still hungry, eat some vegetables with your shake. I ate eggs in a shake. Fats: all natural peanut butter, extra virgin olive oil, grapeseed oil, macadamia nut oil, almonds, cashews, walnuts, pecans. When I get snacky and I'm not being perfect with my diet, I've got a jar on our counter and it's full of mixed nuts. And if I get snacked, my wife don't really eat the mixed nuts. We don't have any kids here, so I just go grab some nuts and eat them. When the kids come home, when I'm really strict dieting, I don't eat carbs. I don't work out hard enough to deserve carbs. I don't train like that. I train for power. And so when you're doing power training, if you're not doing a lot of sprinting, if you're not going to football practice, if you're not going to baseball practice, if you're baseball practice where they overrun them, gets my nerves, you don't really need carbs. If you're going to wrestling, you're going to have some damn carbs, because you're going to die or be way too damn lean and pass out or something. So for carbs, you can add like oatmeal, rice, potatoes, Ezekiel bread. And right here, use fruit as a carb source, at least 1 meal per day. Blueberries, strawberries are great. So don't need a lot of fruit, maybe 1 meal per day with your fruit. The other ones need to come from some rice, and I prefer oatmeal. You can add, this guy was talking, he was dipping his chicken in different sauces, but the sauces are high in sugar. Hey, what was it? Sweet Sonny's barbecue sauce. I was like, holy shit, you're supposed to be no carb when you eat Sweet Sonny's barbecue sauce. Geez, the more I learn about what people are doing that they think they're eating good, I'm just like shaking my head, because no one wants to read labels. No one wants to figure out how to get 45, I think it's 6.5 ounces of chicken equal 45 grams of protein. No one wants to go figure that out. But once you do, and you get stapled down and you get you right on paper, then it's easy to follow. So you can use any 0-calorie condiments, spices, 0-calorie beverages. If I get tired of drinking water, I like lemon water for lunch. I drink 32 ounces of lemon water for lunch. Try to drink 3 water bottles before 12, lemon water for lunch, and 3 more water bottles when I'm at the gym in the afternoon. That gives me a little over a gallon. And if you want the water thing, just don't drink water. You see that crap with the things where it's got water at 7:39, 11, 12, 2, 4, 6, 7, and 9, or whatever, however it's labeled on thing. That's the best thing for you. How much water do you drink? 0.66 times your body weight. Very simple. You get in 0.66 times your body weight, you'll be fine. If you pee all the time and you're tired of freaking peeing for drinking so much water, sprinkle some salt in there. That helps you retain some of that water that you're drinking. Think about this, if you got a potted plant and you were to take a gallon of water and you were to pour all of it on that plant at the same time, it's going to overflow and just spill all over. So you're going to be wasting half of it downside. The plant's not going to get its nutrient water. You pour a little bit on it at 7 o'clock in the morning. You pour a little bit later on that day. You pour it slowly throughout the day. You're going to absorb it a lot better. And that's the thing with water. You see these kids just carrying around water bottles. Hey, Jared, I already had one of these today. Well, sounds like you're going to be peeing all night. So they're doing stuff because they've heard, hey, you need to drink a lot of water, you need to drink a lot of water. Well, people tell you all the time to drink a lot of water. Ask a coach at high school that don't know anything, or you can ask one of the smartest one you want, hey, how much water should I have? I don't know, you should have a gallon of water per day. Well, if the kid's 250 pounds, he's going to need more than a gallon of water per day. So rule of thumb, 0.66 times your body weight is how much water you need. You know, water helps flush out all the bad crap you eat and helps you move food particles through your system, helps hydrate, helps with a lot of different stuff. Check where is exerginogen? So like if your hamstrings real fatty, you got cellulite around your thighs and your hamstrings. Like for particular hamstrings, as xenoestrogens, you don't get rid of your waste. So either you're not going to the bathroom pooping enough, or you're not getting enough water in your system to move the food particles through. The biceps and triceps, like if your triceps have a lot of fat on them, for like these females, hey, I want to get rid of this fat off my triceps, I need to get rid of it. Well, you're kind of screwed to a point unless you increase your testosterone, because the thinner the skin is or the fat on the back of your tricep is, the more testosterone you produce. And so if you got a male with a really fatty tricep, he may be not producing a whole lot of testosterone. He may be a whole lot of estrogen, and so may not be looking right through his chest area, if you know what I mean. So your subscap, like up under your shoulder blade, where like a female's bra line, if that's kind of real fatty, they don't tolerate carbs very well, so they don't need them. So the thicker that is up under the shoulder blade, the scapula, the subscap, you may be super sensitive to carbs. Like if I don't do well with wheat. So so just above your hip bone, your suprailiac, it's the lie detector. So like when I get these people trying to, hey Jared, I've been eating carbs, I've been doing this, and no carbs here, no carbs there, then find out they're eating Sweet Sonny's barbecue sauce, then they have this dipping sauce over here with a butt ton of sugar in it. And so then if you can measure the suprailiac, that's the lie detector. So if that site does not go down when you measure it for skin folds, you know they've been eating carbs, because that site will go down and it's directly related to your carbohydrate consumption. Just the subscap will tell you the thicker that is. So if you're eating carbs and that site's going down, but the site on your back's still fairly thick, it means you don't need them at all, because you don't really tolerate them that well. And the further you're born away from the equator, the less carbs you need, more fat-oriented diets you do better with, and closer toward the equator, wherever your genetic heritage is from. So there's a lot of different things that you want, like your knee. The cleaner your knee is, so like if you were to take a skin fold of someone's knee, so the cleaner that site is, the thinner it is. Um, it represents like a cleaner liver. So there's a lot of different things I have here. Like you hear people talk about zinc. Zinc's the hardest mineral in the body um, to replace, and you cannot repair tissue without significant zinc levels. A multivitamin detoxifies the liver. And the thing I learned about a multivitamin is you can tell if you have a good multivitamin. These people just go buy cheap crap supplements. I think your stomach acid's a lot higher, but if you take a cup of vinegar, you drop your multivitamin in there, you leave it in there for 10 to 15 minutes, and you go in there, stir it up. If it does not completely dissolve, it's probably going to come out just as solid in your poop as it was in your mouth. So you can hear some of these people at these porta potty places, when they're cleaning out these porta potties, they're seeing solid multivitamins because these people are buying, oh, I heard this multivitamin's, oh, this one's cheaper than this. Well, there's a reason it's probably cheaper than this. You know, like if you go to some supplements, there's a supplement line site online. I don't quite know what it is, but it lists crap supplements. There's a company that produces a supplement, ginkgo. Well, they took the ginkgo off the shelf, tested it. It was the stem of the ginkgo. It wasn't even the leaf, which is more the active ingredient. Although it was ginkgo, it was a ginkgo stem, so you get the shit of the ginkgo. You're not even really getting the leaf where it got more of the active natural ingredients that you need. So there's a reason that ginkgo could be cheaper than this other ginkgo over here. The first 30 grams of protein each day goes to immune function. You know, if you get sick and you get sick all the time, you may not be getting enough protein. A lot of people, if you go look at a restaurant, I don't care where you go to Steakhouse, go to Longhorn, go to Outback, go to wherever, Steak, Rafferty's, whatever you want to go to, look around. Most of it's potatoes. You got salad with croutons on them, and you got steak, potato, you got steak and fries. Most of your stuff when you go eat, go to a hamburger place. Look how thick the bread is compared to the actual meat on the thing. Then look what your side. So if you got a hamburger with fries, the whole meal is carbs. The carbs help fill you up so you feel full, so that you feel like you paid for something that was good, when all you did was pay to get fat. So you can have that stuff if you're on the weekend, if your week's good, if you're where you want to be. If you don't care what you look like, well, it don't matter then, does it? You can eat a hamburger every day, 5 to 8 times a day if you wanted to. You know, like when insulin's the hormone of aging. So the more carbs you eat, the fatter you are, the older you're going to look, you may have someone that's 40 years old, but they look 50. That, like when you got someone with insulin like that, they're going to look much older than what they are. So if you want ladies, you want to quit looking older, you want to start looking younger, you better lower that carbohydrate intake, because insulin's the hormone of aging. So boom, keep spiking your insulin, keep aging. So what else do I want to go over? Vitamin D, you need to get that. Magnesium. I take 4.5 grams of magnesium a day. I take 6 zinc pills a day spread throughout the day. You know, I don't take it all at one time. Magnesium regulates insulin. 300 chemical reactions from insulin is sympathetic nervous system regulated by the sympathetic nervous system is regulated by magnesium. The person with the most magnesium can handle the most stress. So magnesium is also a precursor to DHEA, equaling low sex drive. And so magnesium dosage is 1.2 to 2.4 grams for females and 2.4 to 4.4 grams for males. Magnesium will help with sleep patterns, stress response, mood. So if you're freaking moody all the time, have these mood swings, you may need to take some magnesium. But magnesium needs to be created with ATE at the end of it. You just don't go buy some crap magnesium. I'll say, hey, well, you can. I mean, if you listen to me, you go buy whatever you want to. But then if you're sitting on the toilet all day, you wish, maybe I should have listened to Jared. So different format, they give you magnesium at the hospital to make you go crap yourself. Well, you don't want to be crapping that magnesium off the shelf. You know, it can be a stool softener. Well, I like to get my Magnesium from ATP Labs and Trilogy Nutrition if you want to know where I get my stuff from. So, what else? Shit studies for that website. It's ergolog.com, ergolog.com. That will tell you shitty supplements, which supplements out there are shitty. So that's that on some of that stuff that I wanted to go through. Make sure you get your creatine in today because that helps with tissue function as well. Good multivitamin. So ATE, cleate, magnesium, glycinate, threonate, some type of 8 at the end of your magnesium is what I was trying to say earlier. So let's see, I had an email earlier this week. Someone wanted to ask me a question through email. Let's see if I can find that. Mr. Duff. Jared, what's sure if you take questions for the podcast? Thoroughly enjoy the podcast and you discussing what you do. Thanks, Mr. Duff. Continue on topic of squatting at 0.6 meters per second to body weight ratio. You have talked about it in relation to running speed, but have you noticed a certain number to the higher verticals around 40? Do you consider 1.7 to 1.75 times body weight, 6 meters per second to be on the vertical of elite relative strength for vertical? Obviously, height of a person and dumbbells play a role, but I was telling someone the other day, sometimes that Tendo unit is a double-edged sword. Sometimes when the kids learn how to cheat it, it messes my numbers up. And it frustrates them because I'm getting this number on the Tendo, but it's not showing up. Well, if you get the 0.6 meters in the most strict form possible, a lot of kids that really cheat it use the safety squat bar. But if you use the safety squat bar with the Tendo, your vertical jump goes up quicker. Now to that 1.7, I'd have to see. I don't know. You can be even less than that. I jumped, what's the most? I did a 405.51 at I was close. I was about 1.7 times my body weight, and I jumped a 37-inch vertical at 231 pounds. But I have had kids with less than that 1.7 reach a 40. I think Dylan Spilios had him on. He jumped a 41-inch vertical with 1.6. Carson was about a 1.6. Cam was about 1.6. It may actually be about a 1.5 or above for the jumping. The kids, depending on their natural rate of force development, they may jump a 40 at a lower relative percentage, but I've not really tried to hammer the 40-inch vertical with the relative squat speeds. I've been really focused on it, and I'm not even paid attention to it, honestly. I'm just trying to think off my head right now what it is, because I'm mainly just trying to figure out if we're squatting 1.7 and you run a 4.5 40 and the other guy runs a 1.7 but runs a 4.8 40, just trying to figure out what the limiting factor is for that person, why they're not hitting these 40 numbers, and I can be looking at it through vertical jump. There's a lot of stuff that I got to do and sit there and try to figure out how to put it in some spreadsheets so that I've got some real data going on, but I have not. So listen. Oh, it says Mr. Duff, but it says thanks, Thomas. So I don't know where this where it is. Galen Duff, but it says thanks, Thomas. So Thomas, hopefully I answered your question with that. And something else is that I was going to go over the same routine, but I got better. But you know what? I'm going to save that for the next podcast. So I've done the same routine. I've done the same bench routine as this other person. I've done the same routines as these other people. I actually got stronger and they actually got weaker. So that'll be covered on the next episode. Well, I hope this diet and training information helps out a lot for people that, you need to find your numbers. For the people at the gym, ask me, I help you. People online, that's probably me. If you won't figure out your numbers and how to hit your specific numbers for your specific goals, that may have to be with the online training later. So thank you all for watching. Hope it helped. Thank you for listening. Follow me on Instagram at Explosive Mechanics, Twitter at Explosive MEC. Email me is the best way to reach me, info@explosivemechanics.com. Go to explosivemechanics.com, purchase a shirt, please, and I'll ship it to you ASAP. So I'm trying to do a really good job of getting those. If I get it in, so if someone ordered a shirt today, and depending on what time it is, it may not go out. Today is Saturday. I would definitely have it out Monday, but if it was Monday, it may not go out to Wednesday or Tuesday. But if you catch me at the right time, Monday, it would go out first thing Monday. So if someone takes time to order something, I'm going to make sure I take my time and get it shipped out quick, because I know I'm just like everybody else. If I order something from Amazon, I want it now. I don't want to wait till tomorrow, but sometimes we have to. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.